Hello and welcome to another episode of MS Talks. In this episode, we bring to you an individual who is responsible for the UEFA Euro 2024 in Germany. He is a long-term employee of the German Football Association, having worked as head of match operations. In 2017, he became the head of the German bid for the UEFA Euro 2024, which led to a successful end in 2018, when Germany was awarded with the third most important sports event of the world for summer 2024. In a joint venture named Euro 2024, he is one of the two managing directors who works closely with the German honorary captain and tournament director Philipp Lahm. And we're glad to have Mr. Markus Stenger from Frankfurt, Germany. Hey, Markus, how are you doing?
Good, I'm fine, thank you. And of course, thank you very much for the very kind introduction, and thank you for having me today.
Well, Markus, it's our pleasure. I mean, sports have seen such a big year. 2020 was a huge year for not just for sports, but for the world as well. But I think the pandemic made the outside world realize just how important and crucial sports is, not just for in everyday lives, but also for the greater economy. I know Euro 2024 is still some time ahead. We're still 3 years from it. But has the pandemic changed your course by any chance? I mean, have you adopted a different direction or strategy at the back of the pandemic?
Since in addition to UEFA Euro 2024, we are also happy to host 4 games of the Pan-European Euro 2020 in Munich. We have been planning under the influence of the pandemic already since last March. And of course, we had to react to the rescheduling of the tournament by the UEFA. From a personal opinion, there was also no alternative to this decision. But therefore, we are really dealing with the challenges and the very dynamic situation already for a couple of months now. And having in mind how the situation was last year, we were really ready to go in Munich. I mean, the team was all geared up. And we were looking forward to the exciting and to the hot tournament phase. But instead, we really had to find individual solutions, especially in communication and management, to our team and to our employees, because some of them, they could not really start their work. But unfortunately, we are really happy that many of them are able to join us for the coming summer. And in Germany, we had the really good situation that the German FA, together with all their medical experts, with the German Bundesliga, that they really developed a very professional hygiene concept so that the Bundesliga was able to resume play as the first football division worldwide. And also UEFA were very professional, and they delivered a clear strategy how to keep the competitions. Also, like the Champions League, you probably remember the final tournament in Portugal, and therefore their return to play protocol, which is also constantly updated, really serves as a very good basis for all the considerations we are currently undergoing, always including the Euro 2020. But looking at the situation for 2024, of course, we had to adapt our focus a bit, and therefore we used the time to move probably a bit faster forward with our planning and our strategy for the Euro 2024, and already founded a joint venture between UEFA and DFB, for example, and therefore we were really happy to use this time to achieve some milestones already, like we were able to announce final draw, which will take place in the fantastic Elbphilharmonie in Hamburg, which is really a true landmark building in Germany. And in winter 23, we will not only host this final draw, we will also be able to start the work in the International Broadcast Center, which we have awarded to Leipzig. So overall, and coming back to your questions, there really have been no major changes in connection to 2024, and there have not been any major setbacks to the plan for the tournament. But I guess the situation at the moment learned us all, or we learned from the situation that we need to have a very close eye to the situation and hopefully being able to react to the very dynamic situation. But we still have the goal to really celebrate a tournament in 3 years' time that will bring back many people together in the community, because I truly believe that the world needs major sports events like that.
No, 100%. As a fellow sports enthusiast, I remember when the Euro got cancelled last year, everyone was looking forward to at least the leagues to start. And I still remember, the German league was the first league to start. And I think I must have seen all the matches in the first 3 weeks. And I was supposed to come in, last year to watch the Euro games as well. And it was absolutely heartbreaking to not be able to be there. And I'm glad to hear that all the preparations for 2024 are in full swing, and I'm quite excited about it. You mentioned about milestones, and I do remember seeing an article in your website itself where DFB recently mentioned about their ambitions of being climate neutral during the Euro 2024. I believe that is certainly a massive and potential task ahead for everyone. I mean, 2024 is just 3 years from now. How important is sustainability and social responsibility, not just for you and the Euro 2024, but for the wider sporting industry? And why was such a decision taken in the first place?
Well, I think if you look at sports events nowadays, and if you really want to organize a contemporary tournament, you have to have many topics in your head, and then you have to decide which topics you would like to focus on. But I think topics like the ones mentioned should not really be that special in the future anymore. They should be really an elemental part of these tournaments. They should be in the DNA of these tournaments. And this includes diversity, inclusion, and of course, sustainability. And during the preparations, during our bid campaign, we really felt that there's already a great willingness among our partners, if it's sports, politics, or business, and especially society, really to break new ground and leave some of the paths that have been tread too often in the past few years. And in DFB, in the German FA, we already have a social responsibility part now for many years. And through this long history, we have already a large network of relevant stakeholders, which we used during our bid campaign already. And in this bid campaign, we identified a range of ideas and lighthouse projects, and these projects we would like to focus on. But coming back to the biggest topic of our generation, or especially of the younger generation, maybe, I think we have to have the climate neutrality as probably our top point on the agenda. And we know it's a very, very big goal, which we will not be able to achieve by ourselves. It's a very big and very ambitious approach, and we need the German government as well if we want to really deliver a landmark in this context. And therefore, we are already in really good discussions with all the relevant bodies and the stakeholders, and we have the idea, which is much bigger than the Euro itself, probably, that the whole Federal Republic of Germany will be able to present itself as a climate neutral venue during UEFA Euro 2024. But we know it's a big goal, but it's really
you need an equal contribution from every stakeholder possible into this.
Absolutely. I mean, it's not that we as an association that we have the funds to make sure that Germany will be climate neutral in 2024. But if everyone in this country sees a chance that it's going together with such a big tournament, I think we will be able to leave a legacy. not only for Germany, but also for future hosts.
And it becomes a benchmark for all sporting events as well. And from the sporting events, I mean, there are so many industries who work closely because of the large audiences that you gather, from, I would say, from malls to airports to theme parks to, I mean, the list goes on, right? Who all can take inspiration from what you do. And I do hope, I sincerely hope that, these ambitions do come to life. And this leads to my next question. 2024, year 2024, you have 10 stadiums, 10 host cities, right? Those are huge opportunities, but also huge challenges and responsibilities. Not just in delivering a safe, fun, and a successful tournament, but as you mentioned, also climate neutral tournament. How has the progress been so far? Did 2020 and everything that the industry, went through, did it change any of your strategies, any of your directions, or are you still on track with all the decisions you've made so far?
I think, as already mentioned, the pandemic didn't affect our plans for 2024 too much. Of course, I think planning cannot be as stable as it was in the past. It has to be dynamic, and it has to adapt to probably new challenges coming up. But at the moment, we are gaining a lot of experience. And until the tournament in 3 years, we really hope and we are optimistic that we can really create a happy and peaceful atmosphere again. And that we, of course, have defeated the pandemic. But then, even if it's hard to imagine at the moment, because at the moment in the life of many people, sports is not the number one topic. But sports has a lot of powers, and therefore we really have to keep our optimism, because everyone deserves that, and also the tournament. And the motto we implemented during the bid phase, which was united by football, our approach was really always to let partners participate in our considerations. We needed the Federal Ministry of Interior, host cities, the stadiums. They all play a key role. And we're in constant and very close contact with all of them. And when you look at the scale of a European football championship, you have more than 5 billion viewers, lots of spectators and millions of visitors in stadia, but also fan zones. They all deserve a fantastic tournament. And therefore, you have to be very careful, especially when it comes to sensitive areas like security and also everything that has to deal with the spectators, so the spectator experience. And coming back to security, which was probably one of the major topics, looking back at some very sad and recent events in the past, we already started in carrying out a large-scale safety exercise in Munich with more than 1,000 participants, with police, fire brigade, with everyone involved, because we want to work hard, and we know that we have to work hard, that we can deliver a fantastic and especially safe Euro 2024. And hopefully, when the tournament is played, people say that the Euro is or was a different tournament than the World Cup 2006, but it was also it also has the same attributes for the people, like fantastic fan zones and just a positive atmosphere and attitude towards the tournament. And hopefully we have the same weather as in 2006.
No, I believe the take from this is, learning and taking the positives out of everything that we've been through. I mean, and I think you are doing that right. And I'm not surprised that, all these things have, I think, made you prepare much better and be in a much better position than what must have been should we have not experienced these things. Markus, coming to my last question, actually, big talks around technology, around innovation, around all things tech, right? Most of your stadiums for Euro 2024 are legendary stadiums. These are really old stadiums, stories around these stadiums, very iconic stadiums. And all of them are very much in use as we speak right now for the normal league as well. But you can see that there's a global movement happening in stadium technology itself, where they're incorporating more digital, more technology, more solutions to enhance fan experience, security, XYZ, right? When it comes to broadcasting, F&B, VIP facilities, Wi-Fi, connectivity. I mean, I can go on with innovation in sports right now, right? It's a really big topic. I'm sure these are already being discussed, by you guys. Can you run through these things to the people that'll be watching this show?
Well, looking at the stadium infrastructure in Germany, I think it's one of the best in the world. Maybe it's unique in the world because we have so many stadiums that are, as you mentioned, that are kind of played every second weekend. And it was already a decisive factor in our bid that we were a plug and play bid. I mean, it's already part of a sustainability concept that you do not have to build huge stadiums which are not going to be used after the tournament. And because of the stadiums and the clubs that are playing in the stadiums, we have fantastic partners we work closely with. And we know that all the stadiums, and this includes the 10 stadiums we have for 2024, that they all have an internal will to keep the stadiums always state of the art. I mean, Allianz Arena, the stadium that was built more than 15 years ago, is still one of the best stadiums in the world. And because of the Bundesliga, which is also a league which is constantly working on new developments, how to modernize the stadiums, we have a very big amount of confidence that all the stadiums work hard to present themselves in the best possible way in summer 2024. And when you see the stadiums and the competition worldwide to get big events, also like concerts, for example, you need to continuously develop and modernize your stadium. And therefore, it's really up to the stadiums to consider individually what kind of measures they need to be fit for the future, including digital challenges, TV broadcasting, and of course, sustainability. And therefore, I think we, together with the UEFA, are of course closely monitoring the process, and the stadiums, they need to be in perfect shape for 2024. But from my personal impression so far, everyone is really doing their best that we can have the ultimate football experience at a unique UEFA Euro 2024 in Germany.
I think I was already so excited for this, and you've just raised my excitement twofolds. Well, thank you so much, Markus, for your time. It was a pleasure speaking to you. Is there anything else that maybe you'd like to? I know you're sitting thousands of kilometers away from us. Is there anything that you'd like to announce to the people watching the show, maybe from this part of the world? Anything that you'd like to highlight? Anything that you'd like to potentially close this talk with?
Well, as also mentioned earlier, I know everyone is dealing with the challenges of the pandemic situation at the moment, but I really would like everyone to, for their trust in us and our partners at UEFA, and in the sports community, that everyone is really working hard and analyzing carefully how to approach the tournaments, how to make the tournaments a safe place again. And this really includes health and sanity of players and spectators. It's always the most important thing to be healthy and alive, and everyone should feel safe when he visits those big events. And therefore, from a German point of view, we are really looking forward to welcome you in Germany as soon as we have passed the situations and to experience a fantastic Euro. And therefore, thank you very much for the opportunity to have this very interesting talk with you. And let's see what the future brings. And let's stay optimistic and healthy, of course.
Thank you, Marcus. I hope we can do this physically someday. Maybe when things are behind us, we'll be talking about this live, physically, face to face, either in Germany or in Dubai. And yeah, I mean, good luck with the rest of the organization. I'll be in touch with you, and hopefully, this is the first of many talks that we do. And thank you so much for your time once again.
Thank you very much. Again, we appreciate having us or having me in this context. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.